Welcome to Take Aim. My name is Los Santos. Today we're going to be reviewing the quarterfinals matches. But before we talk about that, I'm going to introduce you to the specialists that are here with me right now. We have Mamadou and Kar. How you guys doing today?
Doing well. Good, so far so good.
Pretty good, pretty good. So, first match of the quarterfinal is Uruguay versus France. What do you guys think about that game?
It was a big hit for Uruguay not to have Cavani on board. Both strikers work very well friended with each other, but a lot of opportunities unfinished and a lot more capitalization done from the French national team. I feel like Mastrolia didn't really step up that day. Godin did what he could in front, but hard shots from Griezmann and not proper pairing or stoppage from Mastrolia led to an amazing looking goal. At least from the France perspective, because I mean we want France to win. But I think overall, putting paper to paper, it was a prediction with me that was obvious that France would be going through. Not to say that Uruguay are not a threatening team. They have amazing youth and veterans on that team. One in particular, I want to give a shout out to Lucas Torreira, who Arsenal are looking at very in-depthly because they need a defensive mid. We all know this. Lucas Torreira is looking to sign with Arsenal this week. And another candidate being Nzonzi, another story. Torreira, very good story. Played very well for Uruguay. Good tournament for him. He's almost like the Conte of Uruguay. You have to credit him with the midfield. Jimenez as well, outstanding player. Obviously Suarez. But there just wasn't enough thrive. It wasn't enough to overcome exactly the work ethic that France is putting in on their midfield and with Pogba and Conte together. And that gave a lot of opportunities for the forefront between Mbappe and Griezmann. Despite that, Griezmann, we haven't seen him give as much drive. I feel like the Griezmann that we all know so well hasn't put that 110% that we've seen in previous tournaments.
So you think it would have been a different game if Cavani was
It definitely would have been, but I really do feel the result would have been the same where France would have advanced.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. But I think that Uruguay would have had their odds up higher with Cavani on the pitch as well.
Mm-hmm.
It really helps.
Because he's really familiar with some of the players.
He did have a good tournament. He did have a really good tournament, but it just wasn't enough. I feel France are the most deep team in this competition. We all predicted them to win before this whole tournament started, and this just goes to prove that Uruguay, an outstanding side, even they will struggle against a deep-looking France. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, same to me. Like I would say, like France is doing better and better since the beginning of the tournament. They have improved a lot. I think they found a system. 11 players that are like regular now. So I think they did very well. Uruguay was a big challenge for them because Uruguay was the best defense of the tournament and the best team they will face. As you said, that was a big loss for Uruguay not to have Cavani. They tried everything to have him on the pitch, but until last minute, it couldn't have it to play. So yeah, but overall, I think France was way better than Uruguay. They outplayed them. Like when you can see like experience of Pogba, Mbappe, and those players, like they were very superior to Uruguay. And even in terms of bench too, you can see like on the bench France had better players than Uruguay. So overall, they win kind of easily, and they could manage Uruguay's team. It was kind of an easy win for them.
The only time I was worried, I was going to say, sorry to add on, is in the beginning, Uruguay did a high press. They were quick, and it looked like Uruguay were going to score first within the first 15 minutes. But defensively, France reorganized very well. It's nice to see young players who haven't had too much experience in the world stage, like Pavard and Hernandez, step up very well too. I think that was Hernandez's best game so far, in my opinion. Other games, I was questioning his decision-making, but he stepped up very well there. Pavard, who's not normally a right back, but mostly center back, he's been phenomenal. We've seen him. He's adjusting very well. And Varane with the amazing goal in the set play. That was a sense of relief. As soon as I saw France score first, I'm like, okay, I feel more comfortable now. Not because we just have the lead, but it looked like the guys had more confidence in their heads afterwards. So it just seemed like France were going to win it.
Yeah. Me, the only part I didn't like about this game, it's like Pogba was starting to get angry, and Mbappe started playing like cocky. You know what I mean? This try to dive a little bit. I think that's something to be careful about because we'll see how they're gonna react in the future. But the only downside I see is at this point. But other than that, I think they were managing the Uruguay team, and I think that was kind of easy. You can feel like the team is getting better as they get challenged, and I think they can do more than that. But they didn't feel in danger, so that's why by the end they kind of played easy, and just
Simple ball.
and didn't celebrate too much, like as if when they play Argentina, like after this game, it was kind of intense and they were celebrating a lot. But after Uruguay, everything was under control.
Next matchup, Brazil versus Belgium. What do you guys think about that game?
I think people were worried that Fellaini started in the mid because
I was surprised. I was surprised
3-4-3,
too.
and then they put De Bruyne on the wing. They pushed him up from the midfield because we're used to seeing De Bruyne doing amazing work in the mid, right behind Sané for Man City. Now they're putting him back in his wing, natural wing position, attacking midfield. As you know, he goes between those two previously, right? But then this past season, we saw him go back towards the center mid role, which he's been phenomenal. People are saying he should be a Ballon d'Or candidate. I loved seeing De Bruyne in this game. He was like an orchestrator. Him and Hazard showed a lot of fight. We're not used to seeing it.
Hazard had a lot of wheels.
Every
Yeah,
single
it was really
counter,
everywhere.
driving with the ball, making sure the ball was not coming in areas, especially towards the end when it was just Hazard up top and Lukaku came off, which was surprising, but they needed more defenders when they were holding the lead. But I won't go that far just yet. I just want to say it constantly felt that Brazil were chasing the game. It felt like Belgium came in with a plan to have that lead, but also turtle up and defend after having a secure lead with Roberto Martinez making the correct substitutions, coming in with 5 defenders at some point, it seemed. Yet Vertonghen, Alderweireld, Company, Meunier, who's also very good tournament with him so far, very good defensively. He came back and it was just complete shutout. Like it wasn't until like the last 20 minutes I felt, because you're holding down a lead, you're going to give space and opportunity for Brazil to come in and attack, but nothing. They didn't deserve it. I feel like Belgium were the rightful winners, and it was a very good job, very, very well, with all the decisions that were made between Roberto Martinez and other players on the pitch. I just felt like everybody was on the same wavelength of success, so I just...
I feel like
they deserve it.
I feel like the Brazilian team wasn't the same how they were playing with Mexico. Like versus like Belgium, I feel like they weren't there.
I don't agree with you.
They weren't that strong.
But I think you have to remember, like when you think back, you can do you remember the game against Costa Rica? It was a tough game for them. They had difficulties and they scored in the last minutes. Same with Mexico. When you look at the first half, they were dominated, right? And like they could manage to win, but overall there are many things to they don't look that strong. They don't dominate and look that strong like the same way Belgium play, because Belgium play the same way against Japan. In the beginning they were kind of down, but when they start playing well, they outplay Japan, right? And I don't think with Brazil they got a lot of warning signs, and they didn't take them seriously.
But before we get on to the next match, man of the match for France and Uruguay. Who do you guys think?
France and Uruguay.
Man of the match for that game.
I would say Mbappe.
Mbappe?
Yeah, Mbappe. No, I would say Lloris. Sorry, Lloris. Yeah.
That's an interesting one to put it.
And Mbappe, he played well. Yeah, Mbappe was a poison to Uruguay. All the time, he was so fast, so smart. Yeah, very intelligent kid. And Lloris, actually, he played the best part, and he saved a lot of...
To be honest, if Lloris didn't do all that saving in the beginning, like I was saying, they were high pressing very quick, it probably would have changed. If he let in a goal, it probably would have changed the mentality of the player. So you know what? I'm going to agree. Lloris as well. I will. Because even though Griezmann scored, it was mainly because Muslera was not goalkeeping well. And I don't know. I still don't get that sense of drive that we're expecting him to, be on top like usual. Mbappe was devastating for sure. I liked watching Pogba. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think Lloris.
Yeah,
Love
Pogba too. Pogba, he did a very good job.
Yeah.
He played simple.
Mhm.
He was managing everything. He got the midfield in control. Yeah, so those
Yeah, he
three.
led the tempo.
Yeah, like those three are like the key players of the win. So it's hard to choose one over another
Yeah.
one. But yeah, I would say Loris. I would say for the
Lloris,
save
Lloris.
because he was decisive too.
The worst player.
Worst player
Yeah,
for
like-
France Uruguay?
Yeah. Nice.
Worst player for France Uruguay?
I would say
I'm gonna say Muslera.
no. I wouldn't say worst player, but I think maybe Tolisso because he just adapt to he was asked to do something he wasn't doing before, like playing Matuidi's replacement.
Mhm.
And you could feel he was not so great, but overall he played for the team, so he could have been way better.
Yeah,
So Brazil and Belgium, man of the match.
okay, for me, hands down, De Bruyne. That's just me because of all I said in the beginning. I think De Bruyne needs to be a Ballon d'Or candidate for this year. Because of what everything he does. He's such a well-rounded player. The guy can be in the center mid and dominate. The guy can be forward and dominate. Like I'm just a huge fan of him right now. I feel like he's one of the most pivotal players in Belgium.
Yeah. And actually, this guy is running all the time, fighting all the time.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
De Bruyne is amazing.
But to me, I would put Hazard because Hazard is taking. Actually,
He showed a lot of
improved the-
fights. He
lot
did,
of
and he
fight.
kept pushing for it. He kept pushing.
Yeah,
Maybe he wasn't able to dribble past a lot of players 1v1, but he kept it. He kept going. And if you have a good work ethic, your work rate is going forward. Like that's all you can ask of a player
yeah.
to keep going and not stop. And he did it.
And
did it.
he took this role as a leader very seriously. And you think back then he was maybe overwhelming for him, but now I think he's taking it. He knows like the value of his responsibilities, and he's showing he's deserved to be the leader of his team. I think overall he's a leader, and he proved it against a big game because Hazard was always blamed for not being at the top level during the big games, and I think he's starting to show to prove this critical.
So the worst player of that game.
Worst player.
I would say Neymar.
Neymar.
Yeah, Neymar, because as I said to you, like the only thing we remember about this World Cup nowadays is like this diving,
Yeah.
and he was acting too much. He was not focusing on his game, and I was thinking, how can such a talented players can just have such a poor mentality, being mad, angry all the times.
Mhm.
So that's why, even though he played well because he created opportunities, he's very talented, but what he did was not serving this team.
Mhm.
That's why I would say,
I think I'm just in that boat. I'm going to say Fernandinho, Willian, and Fagner didn't have a good game. I can't decide exactly who, but as a collective, it did not help Brazil.
Well, moving on to the next match, Sweden versus England.
So on the right side of the bracket,
Yeah.
this was the least entertaining matchup for me. I don't know. I felt, I'm not going to say it was predictable because, one, you have Sweden, very well organized, and you have England, very well organized attack. So one that can attack, one that can defend. But in the end, it was England that overwhelmed Sweden. And I saw it coming in terms of predicting it, even though it was not easy. But it really just came down to the fact that Sweden don't have prolific goal scorers. They don't have clinical fishers. Like, their best finisher is a guy who played in the Greek league that I know him very well, Panathinaikos. Now he plays in the Arabic league. He's Marcus Berg. Very good goal scorer, but you just simply can't compare his skill level, his competitive level to Harry Kane and Sterling. You know, I feel they just maybe they could have used a Zlatan in this situation, despite that they went this far without him, but they couldn't have finished a goal in this. I knew that they were going to finish with 0 goals, no matter what the score was for England. If they would have scored 1, 2, or 3, in this case, they scored a couple, right? But they just had nothing going forward.
England was more dominant.
And they were playing more creative plays that Sweden couldn't read in some instances. I mean, with the utilization of Dele Alli and the wings, like 3-5-2, it just makes sense with England. You have Trippier, Rose, Walker. Walker is more playing center back now, right? But you have these guys who are capable of gunning down the wings and opening up space, spreading the field, and you're. This is what happens to a team that is so well organized. Well, you try to get them separated. You try to exploit the space in between them, and then you have these two creative attacking midfielders coming in and dealing passes to get into these spaces to find Harry Kane and finish. And it's like it makes sense why they came in with this plan to separate all these players to find the space to score in the first place. I feel like England just were the ideal team to face Sweden to win.
Moving on to the next game, Russia versus Croatia. What do you guys think about that game?
That was an intense game. I think the most difficult game.
Very most intense game,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
For the whole 120 minutes, the whole stadium was just constantly erupting. You hear all this enthusiasm, all this commotion, and it's just like I'm sitting here on my couch and I'm hearing all this. I'm like, this is a serious. I've never seen Russia so serious about a soccer game ever. And I mean, it makes sense. Like it's the World Cup
Yes.
and their whole,
Yeah,
the host
no,
nation.
yeah.
Like everything boils down to this, and nothing came easy for both teams on the day. But I just feel Croatia, even from well before the tournament and now, I knew they were gonna be really threatening in this World Cup. No one could have predicted as far with Russia because before the tournament even started, Russia were either tying or losing consecutively before the tournament started. Because they automatically bypassed to qualify because they're host nation.
Yeah, but in most of tournament, like when you bring home, it's a good.
It's an advantage, yeah, of course. I'm
It's a
not
big
denying that.
advantage,
But that's
so-
what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's the
Yeah.
sole reason. But you look at Russia on paper, and majority of their players either play for in Russian clubs in the Premier League or La Liga, being one, Cheryshev. One player in that whole lineup plays in La Liga. Cheryshev, who scored.
Who scored?
And that
Beautiful
was a
shot.
beautiful goal, yeah.
Beautiful,
He caught
beautiful
that-
goal, yeah.
They couldn't have planned it better
Yeah.
the way he did. But sorry, I feel Croatia. It was intimidating. I feel like they could on a good day if they played in a neutral ground other than Russia could have beaten Russia outright.
Yeah.
But this really evened things out. When you hear that stadium roar, like I feel
Yeah,
the
that's
Croatians,
their
it threw
fans.
them off. Like I
That's
feel
their
like
fans that's at home.
you can't focus. Like
yeah, can't
even
focus.
guys like Rakitic, Brozovic, and Modric in the midfield who are doing amazing, being
Yeah.
their own maestros at their craft, can't keep it together when you hear all these guys roaring around you. And the Russians were very physical. Like they have a good fight in them. They wanted this. You know that they're coming into play, and nothing came easy. But it was interesting to see for the first time on my part that in post playoffs, now you know the new rule: 4 subs are allowed in extra
Yeah,
time.
it's so.
It was interesting to see how that plays out now. It gives teams more options and makes it more tactically interesting. Both coaches were trying to read each other so well. He's like, okay, he's going to make that sub, I'm going to make this sub. They all know each other's players very well. They studied each other, you can tell. So it was like a game of chess, and just seeing it all planned out right before penalties. I got worried because Subasic, you saw him pull his leg.
Yeah.
Come penalties, it's like, is he going to be able to dive properly? Is he going to be able to save all these shots? And he just put it past him, and he's like, this is where it counts. If something bad happens to my leg from here, it's all for Croatia. I have to do it. And
Exactly.
what a warrior. Credit to him. Seriously.
Yeah,
Credit
but
to him so
look
much.
at the penalty shootout, man. Like for Russia, it was like, are they serious with this or like?
No,
I got kind of pissed because like.
Yeah, but you have to remember you have lots of pressure when you
Yeah,
have
it
all
is.
the coaches.
And
I'm
that's
talking
what I
about the
was gonna say.
first.
They're nervous,
I'm
man.
talking about the first guy that took the penalty. Like, why are you gonna try to chip the keeper? Shoot it hard.
What he thought in
You
that
don't
time, in
gotta
that
tell.
moment, he thought it was a good idea. He thought it was a good. He went with it. Had he known it was going to turn out like that, he would have
Because
gotten
actually,
back.
penalty is kind of a mental game.
No, I know.
It is.
Yeah, yeah.
I was going to say
it's very
purely mental.
nerve-wracking. It's one of the.
Yeah.
You want to surprise
And then you
the
see
goal,
Mario
yeah.
Fernandez miss the net completely. He goes
Mhm.
bottom
Yeah.
low. He misses it completely.
This guy scored the tie and he missed.
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It happens, man. Things happen so quickly. It doesn't even phase you. You're just.
Yeah,
It's all here.
No, I know.
It really is. He's still a good player, regardless if he missed. It's so much pressure. Like you said,
Yeah.
like, it doesn't come
But
easy.
in terms of skills, like culturally, like Croatia, they are way better in terms of penalty.
Mhm.
And when you look at the goalkeeper, to Subasic, he had confidence. He wanted to get to this level to show like he can stop them, and that made it different.
But it's good. It's good for Russia for getting this far.
Oh yeah,
Because a
credit
lot
to
of
them.
people, thought, even I thought they're gonna get out the group stage,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I was surprised they went all the way to like quarterfinals.
Yeah, but the way in one way, okay, but the way they play is not very
No,
entertaining, right?
no.
Again, it's Spain, like they're just expecting the penalty kick. Yeah, same with Croatia.
They do ride with a lot of that confidence. Like I
But
said,
the way-
it's the advantage of the host
Yeah.
nation. You have a whole crowd around you.
So, man of the match for Sweden and England, what do you guys think it is?
I really enjoyed seeing Lingard play in the midfield. I feel like he opened up a lot of opportunities. Harry Kane also came back more and to have Sterling work more up top, and Dele Alli sometimes push forward. But I think he caused a nice balance between all four of them to have attacking opportunities and also create plays. So Henderson too with the counters, Stones very well organized in the back with McGrath. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Lingard for this one.
Okay.
Yeah, this
What
one.
do you think?
Yeah, to me, I like Lingard too, but I would say the goalkeeper of the England.
Most people would say
Yeah, because of the 3 saves that are very decisive,
clinical.
like keep the team alive.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's my man of.
What about Russia versus Croatia, man of the match of
For
that game?
me, I'm gonna say Modric. I know that sounds pretty general because everybody highlights Modric, and Rakitic had a big moment himself too. But I think the way Modric marshaled things to keep his players in check, I think every decision he made, he approved of it first in the players, even down to the penalties when they were choosing sides. He was asking the preference to his keeper what side he wanted, and he helped the coach also pick the order of shooters. He had some insight. I think he's a very, very much a leader in that squad, and it was shown on the pitch and off. I feel he deserves man of the match. Luka Modric is just outstanding. There's nothing more surprising to his work and what he's done, even with Real Madrid these past 3 years, working Champions League. This guy has a solid shot to World Cup. He does.
Me, I like Rakitic too with his confidence, but
Yeah.
also I would pick. The Subasic too. I think
Subasic, yeah.
Subasic
He was injured and he still pushed it. He still pushed
He
it.
still
like-
push it, and he got confident. And this confidence, he transmitted strong confidence to his teammates. And even in penalty kick, he showed like he was here to make the team win.
A lot of credit to the goalies in this quarterfinals. A lot of it was either pretty much the teams that didn't have their goalies come out will end up losing. If the ones that did, like, it just really broke down to keepers.
Yeah, of course, yeah,
Yeah.
of course. So let's get to the predictions.
Mhm.
France versus
Interesting.
Belgium.
Yeah.
That's going to be extremely intense.
Mhm.
I expect that to be the most intense game of the tournament. That's my opinion. Even more intense than the final. I feel that will come down to a 2-2.
2-2.
And then in extra time, France will score a 3-2. Do you want me to give you the goal scorers?
No.
The minute
Yeah.
as well. The minute
I
as
think
well.
the minute as well. Oh, okay. Let's put some money. We'll put some money on it while No, I think it's 3-2 and added extra time. No penalties, just
No
before.
penalties?
Yeah.
What about you?
A very tough game. I would predict France because now, no matter what, France has to win.
They have to.
They have to, otherwise
This is
it's
their last
gonna-
obstacle in terms of.
Yeah. And when you look in terms of experience, when you look at the bench, when you look at the players overall, the value of the player, the skills and stuff like that, I think French is slightly above Belgium. Even though you can tell it's going to be difficult because all the players, they know each other very well.
Oh, very well.
Same culture, same clubs.
Yeah,
Same everything.
yeah.
So-
A lot of them are friends off the pitch, like Pogba and Lukaku.
They even
are very
speak the
close.
same language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the score? What do you think the score is going to be?
It's difficult to say. Seriously, it's going to be difficult, but I would say predict a lot of goals, like at least 3 goals. But the scores maybe with 2-1 or 3-1. Yeah.
Okay.
So for the second match, Croatia versus England.
Yeah.
Prediction, what you guys?
I think that game will be closer in terms of score. Not to say that, England and Croatia are going to be close in terms of overall combat and competition. I think Croatia will win that. I know everybody's on the England wave right now. They're coming home with the cup, all these jokes.
You're going to get the bad comments coming up to you.
I know, but I think it's going to be a simple 1-0 win for Croatia before 90 minutes. Yeah. However, once again, on paper, both teams look amazing. All these teams look amazing. There's no team that doesn't deserve to be in the semifinals so far. I just feel that that game, the sole reason Croatia will win is because of the midfield battles that will be won by Croatia.
Mhm.
I know the way Croatia are going to play, judging from how they played before, is they will try to isolate key people like Dele Alli and Lingard getting forward the ball to Sterling and Harry Kane. They will isolate those guys with Rakitic and Modric and make sure that they're not receiving too many balls from there to continue. And as long as they can tactically approach of isolating key players that will prevent certain goals from happening, I think Croatia will comfortably win 1-0, and they will try to defend it out.
To me, the opposite. I would say England.
Ooh.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I think it's going to be an easy win for England as well. Because I was watching the game, Croatia, they look tired, they look exhausted. Mentally, it's going to be difficult to fight again against England. As you said to me earlier, England has an easy win. Like they could manage, have player rest, which was not the case for Croatia. So to me, that will make a big difference. I think the difference will be like kind of physically, because even by the end of the game, like they didn't have anything. Like they were very tired. They could manage to win, and they got relief when they won the game. But I don't think they're gonna be able to fight again, go overtime with England and win again. So to me, I would put an easy win for England for this reason.
Okay, and the score? You gonna say
2-0 maybe.
2-0 England?
Yeah.
England. But yeah, this is the end of the show. Please comment down below, like, share, and or tell us your guys' prediction. What this is taking. Thank you to the specialists Mamadou and Kar. My name is Los Santos, and take care.